Sweet. Is it just the plug is messed up, or is the switch itself bad?
He doesn't want anything. He's going to come pick up his coilovers and why everything try to tighten it. But he said he has no money. He has no money. He's freaking out. He has no money. And I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, I don't even know what you're asking for right now.
That sucks. I mean, he probably saw that the metal tab is missing and thinks it's a hole.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think he was probably going to pop the metal tab off.
Yeah. I'm live on the YouTubes. So I just spent an hour building a base mat for this fucking car that the VIN says is a 2004. The interior says is a 2004. The exterior says is a 2004. But somebody's flashed a 2005 ROM on the ECU. So I put the export on and it goes, oh, is this an 05? And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, it's not an 05. But now the map that I fucking built for an 04 won't go on it because it's the export thinks it's an 05. So now I got to either build a map for an 05, which this car isn't, and put on there, or I got to open source flash an 04 map on this fucking car. So I think I want to open source flash it because I don't want to do any of that other shit. Because when they go to get smog checked, if they do, it's gonna say 05 and not 04. So open sourcing it to 04 is what I'm about to do now. I didn't bring a fucking open source cable with me, I don't think. Tanner, you got an open source cable, right? You got an open source cable, right?
Yeah.
I need to use it.
It's gonna cost you.
Yeah? Yeah, my jaw hurts from last time. What's up, guys? Whoopsie, what's going on here? All messages are visible. That's what I want to see. There we go. Perfect. Hey, Matt. Hey, Travis. Hey, Travis again. Hey, Matt. Yeah, either way, it's, more time than I plan on spending. But the open source flashing is not that long. It takes a couple minutes. Not a big deal. But I also had to find the OBD port because it's broken off inside the car somewhere. I had to go dig for it under the dash. It wasn't even like in the normal spot either. I don't know why it was moved so far. But that is the world of tuning when you got to deal with bug eyes and blob eyes. That's why I don't like to tune bug eyes and blob eyes. There's too much weird shit that goes on with them all the time, and then you get caught by surprise on some shit. That and they're just not fun anymore. All right, so that's what I'm doing. First, I go to. I should if I can OBS this, huh? So you can capture my screen. Let me turn this camera on. Look like my OBS mug. All right, so I don't really care what's on it right now. I just know it's an 05. Luckily, I have a bunch of open source maps in here somewhere. ROMs. Here we go. That's not that one. That's the wrong folder. JDM ROMs. Where do I have it? Group N ROMs. I guess there's in the folder. Here it is. Okay. So I want an 05 stock one. 04 stock one. I guess it doesn't even matter if it's tuned or not, right? Because here's 04 directs Jared, whoever Jared is. This is his map. Guy I tuned a long time ago. Why are these not? Oh, they're in by date. I'm like, why is everything out of order? There we go. That's better. Yeah, let's open Jared's map up. Looks like a normal map. Flash this bitch on there. Oh, I gotta put the connectors together. God damn it. That's the other reason too. I miss CAN bus. I like CAN bus. I hate doing green connectors. I hate doing initialization connectors. All that crap. The flash block jumper. There he is. Turn this for. I don't know any bug eye or blob eye. I don't enjoy them. Yeah, where you stick your mouth in the goddamn cardigan. No, yeah, I mean, I've done the green connectors literally thousands of times. And luckily my arms are super long. I can do them, usually from sitting in the seat, but...
Are you on the YouTube?
I'm on the YouTube, but I broke a rib a long time ago, and so it makes it hard to reach down there now. Alright. It is awesome. You should try it. In fact, come here, I'll show you.
It's really hard to search for KV stuff.
Oh, so it's not going to be KV, it's going to be an SL.
Okay, so it's going to be an SL. Well, that would be my first thing.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be an SL. So mtron.world, they have plug and play options. Go to the plug and play page, and it shows the ones that fit the WRXs and stuff. It
I
should
can't find that shit at all.
mtron.world.
Well, I'm on intro.world, but it's having a really hard time. Like, I'm having a really hard time navigating their website.
Okay, let's go look.
And other people might be too, so it might be
Hey, mtron, fix your shit. Oh, right in front of the door, here, mtron.world. Oh, you're under application builds too.
Oh, I pressed others. I was looking.
You were just searching, digging around.
I was trying to find it without having to bug you.
High-end image management. Feel the thrill. Was that what I clicked on?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's like they changed it. Oh, they totally changed it.
So they have SL right there. It's up at the top.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's SL, not KV, but we can click on KV real quick and just double check.
They have no search function. So you just have to like scroll through like 500 pages.
Yeah, that's weird because they have a plug and play section normally.
Well, if you go, I think, to the bottom, like the bottom of this,
Those application builds there.
it says, yeah, plug and play kits right there. Shop products.
Plug-in kits.
Or plug in kits, not plug in.
That's supposed to be the one. What the fuck? It's all weird. Well, it used to go straight to the cars that were applicable to it. GTR, Yamaha.
Because I found it, if you just Google Legacy GT Mtron, it pulls it up, but then it brings you to this, and then it doesn't let you search anymore. Which makes me think that they might have one.
This is weird. What browser are you using?
Chrome?
Is this Chrome? That's what I use. This isn't all like what I see when I go to this website.
Also, did you know Mishimoto makes coil packs?
Do you want a new switch line?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what?
That black car that I did the clutch in out there.
It's like the filter's not
car?
working.
I don't know.
Like the filter's not working. It just reloads everything all over again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard.
If I click plug and quits again here,
It does the same thing.
it reloads everything again.
Anyway, that black car out there has a Mishimoto coil packs in it.
Who makes those?
Mishimoto.
I know, I'm just kidding. But no, who really makes them?
I don't know. They're black ones though.
If this wasn't 2022, I could make so many jokes about that. Let's see, if I click on SL8, does it work? Okay, it showed SL8. Okay, that's something. That's, yeah, their website's weird. They got like these weird windows popping up and stuff, and used to actually, wow, none of the filters work.
I'm telling you, man.
All the filters are broken.
I already did this for like 5 minutes before I was like,
Yeah, all the filters are broke. Like it even says SL series, and that's all KVs, hoodies,
It's
flying
just a
lead
general.
harnesses. Yeah, shit's fucked up. Just default sorting.
yeah, and then it just does that,
Well, that's,
which does nothing for me.
well, luckily I can message the owner of this shit, and he usually addresses it pretty fast.
Can they get back to me in like the next half an hour?
Are they open in Australia right now?
Probably not.
Oh.
It's probably like midnight.
Well, it's like 7 hours difference.
So probably about midnight.
The other direction.
Well, wouldn't that still bring us to? I guess no, it would bring us to like.
Yeah,
More than
there's more than 14 hours in the day, yeah. Okay, well, it's supposed to actually sort, which it's not doing. That's bizarreness. Let's go to Edge. Let's see if Edge does something different.
Yeah. Do
Maybe.
whatever we need to do.
Chrome recommends using Chrome. Yeah, fuck you. Okay. Intron. Let's try this again. Sorry, this is great content, I'm sure. Watching people struggle on the internet. Is it suitable for all ages? It's not going to be if I keep struggling.
It's not gonna be if you keep opening my browser.
I'm gonna keep use caution when opening browser on stream. Yeah. I want to feel the thrill. What's that get to me? Okay. Plugin kits 13. It says there's 13, but it's showing all 168 results. It says there's 13. Well, that's not fun. Okay, so I guess Control F. We're gonna Control F this thing. Subaru. Right there.
MY09.
Wait, that's 8 to 19. 6 to 7. Where's the? So it must be 6 to 7. Right here, this one.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we can go here, you can download the manual for it and just look at the pinout header and make sure it's the same. And the cool thing about Mtron though is that changing the CAN protocol is as simple as clicking some buttons and changing the CAN protocol.
Okay. Yeah, because Link said no.
Yeah, they said fuck you.
So that's our price on just the ECU then?
This is not our price, this is retail on it.
Okay.
Oh, that seems really high.
Because the Haltech is $2,400 with the jumper, plug and play, everything.
Yeah, that's a bit more expensive. This one. But the Haltech doesn't come with O2, right? I don't know if this one does either, because all the information for it's missing. Well, there's usually a window right here that says all this shit.
Maybe they're working on their website because it's
Like
early in the morning.
right now.
Like right now they're working on it.
Yeah, and I'm this asshole keeps reloading shit, and they're like, "Stop it! I'm trying to do something."
They're
I'm like,
open at 4 in the morning. No one was on the website.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. And then all the
It just shows DOM IEP address active all the time.
well, this is yours, and so it
Oh,
would
yeah,
it would show a VPN just so you can access Pornhub. Let's see, plug in ECU. So we go here, and then you go to the Subaru 6 to 15. That's pretty encompassing manual right there. And then, so here's the manual from 6 to 15, which means I don't know if they have a pinout in it or not.
Link said that the ECU pinout should be the same. Should be, obviously not. It is, but
Yeah, so then you go through the manual. And they should have, I mean, but the thing is that in this year, there's 3 different pinouts. So,
is there?
technically. So which one is this for? 615. Yeah, because 15 does not have the same pinout as 06.
No.
So which one is this?
I don't know. His is the 08 Legacy.
08 Legacy? Yeah, I don't know which one that would be. Is it the same as 09 WRX?
That's what I was.
Or is it 06, 07 WRX?
They have the big math plug.
So it would be more likely to be the older one.
Actually in 08 I don't know. I know 05, 06 Legacies have
Right.
a big math plug.
Yeah. Okay, well, you have to look at this and compare it to the factory one.
Biscuits.
Yep. Yep, but that's it. But now, does Mtron even say Legacy on it? Or not Mtron, but Haltech? Does it say Legacy on it? What's it say?
It says Legacy 3.0 and 2.5T.
That's comforting.
He said 3.0 on purpose.
All right, so that test, that one did. Yeah, I agree, Travis. That's why I was asking, is because of the CAN stuff. But I was wondering, I mean, it doesn't matter for the Mtron as far as the software is concerned, because it still have all the CAN buses. I'm just concerned whether the pinouts the same. But yeah, it would make sense. Come on, Green Cactus, where you at? All right, there we go. Okay, so for ROM is now on this ECU. Let's plug the access port in. Let's see if the access port agrees. All right. This is not an OBS day because I'm not really on the dyno or anything. We're just doing some shop shit. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I have been a little weak on the content lately. Not that this is A1 content by any stretch. Did you guys catch my crankshaft stream? That was a fun one. I need to do one on my header. I want to do one on designing a header in SolidWorks. Let's see, 04 WX. Hey, that's right. I would laugh if my fucking map was an 05. Base map. I'm all about V12s now. Well, then you better take that thing back apart and fix the other shit. Oh, good evening, Just 1 second. I gotta reach. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh yeah, we're back. Okay. She's going. Anyway, so I designed a header in SolidWorks, and I have this method that I use for doing it that I think is a pretty good method, and I want to share it with you guys. So I'm going to do a short I wanted to do an entire series on how to design stuff, how to model it, and then how to get it made, and show some of the math that goes into it. I need a charger. I need juice. Yep. It's telling me the voltage is too low. So I want to do a series on, you know, how to build parts, and, you know, talk about some of the math that goes into it. Talk about so I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, so one misconception I had about stuff was that, oh, if I just, you know, design it in, oh yeah, I guess so. Sure enough, if I design it in a CAD program, then all I gotta do is just put in a machine and hit enter. And unfortunately, that is not the way it goes. And I had no experience in it until, I don't know, 5 or so years ago. You ready? Yeah, ready? And so I designed my first thing, and I was like, now what do I do? And like, well, now you gotta do all the tool paths. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's not like a thing a computer does by itself. I have to do all the tool paths. So yeah, then you have to know where. Cannot flash. Please connect the white or blue. Motherfucker, like, I just did this. I just did this via open source. This shouldn't be an issue. This should work. You stupid twat. This stream is becoming less and less kid-friendly by the minute. Now it's telling me. People were like, Dom, why'd you stop tuning so much at tier 1? This is why. Alright. So we're fucked. That's not gonna work. Yep. For some reason I can flash open source, but I can't flash with the access port. I don't know. It says that the flash blockator is not plugged in, but it definitely is because I just fucking flashed with it.
We had another I do the same thing. Guy in a parking lot with a totally stock one. We actually swapped the ECU in the parking lot. Did shit. Did fuck all for the access port. Didn't care. And just plug in these things. It's plugged in, and it goes, these things aren't plugged in. You're like, no, they are. They're fucking plugged in. Yep. And then you what? You swapped it and it worked? I told the guy to get fucked. Oh, even when you swapped ECU, it didn't work? Yeah. No, I spent like 2.5 hours in the parking lot trying to help him on he just was like, hey, I'm having an issue. Can I swing it by kind of thing? And I like really tried to help him and couldn't get it figured out. Well, it says the flash block's not connected, which it fucking definitely is. Okay, good thing it's an Odyssey, isn't it? Yeah, the OD ports suck on these things. They're like, you gotta like hold them at an angle and, you know what my first thought was? Do all kinds of shit. I said, at what point is this Chase's fault in my head? But it's sad that a brand new AP cable and everything doesn't. Oh, it just turned off. Doesn't fucking work when the open source thing worked in a heartbeat. Well, I know that I've been against open source for a long time, but every day I start getting more and more mad at Cobb for this bullshit. Yeah. Every day it just gets worse and worse. I mean, I'll just go back to the first time you ever talked to me. I said, I don't know why you need one. And you're like, well, there's not enough stuff. And I was like, yeah, there's enough stuff. Now the variable is just too low again.
I need voltage juice. Is it not? Did we break the battery?
Turn off. Turn off. There we go. Okay.
What's that? You good?
I turned the fans off, so they stop fucking bullshitting. I can't hear fuck, and it's drawn power.
11 point. Wait. Is it working? Ugh.
Pins aren't plugged in?
I don't know, but it has to read it all over again, even though it just fucking read it. So I was going to read it all over again and then tell me once again the voltage is wrong. Which is stupid, because for reading it, I shouldn't need exactly 11.75 volts to fucking read it. It's annoying. It's annoying. I should retitle this video, The Annoyances of Cobb. Because with open source, this would be fucking done already. And I fucking hate open source. Yep. Now I have 11.68 volts and I need 11.75. It doesn't matter, dude. As soon as you hook this 12, it's going to go past the next step and be like, oh, now I have no flash block voltage. Dude, fuck Haltech.
Probably over in this area on the assembly table. How about that? Do you have any XP?
It's 11.739.
Woo, it's coming up.
It's coming up. I need 11.750. Wait, it says it's flashing. So pulling the OE port out to the point where the access port turns off, and then just giving it a squeeze a little bit more. The tiniest little bit of pressure to keep the access port on was sufficient. Been tuning Link for years. Yeah, I've been tuning Link for long times. So the Haltech it's overpriced for the features you get. It's so lacking in features. Like the 2500, like it doesn't even have enough features to properly run a 4-cylinder. That's why I don't like the Haltech 2400 or 2500. The Elite 2500. It doesn't have enough shit to run like enough features for doing half the shit that you want to do on any car. For a race car, sure, it's fine. But I would say, I can't say this too loud because I'm going to get phone calls and people get mad at me. I don't like the Holley system that much, the Terminator system. But it's come a long way in just the last 2 years. And one thing that it has over the Haltech is way more inputs and outputs. And for the novice user, a way easier interface for setting up all your drag racing shit, right? I don't like it. I think that the base map they send with them, for one, is appalling. And the software and everything is still lacking in depth and features and functionality, like the ability to start stacking maps and stuff. Like it just doesn't exist, or to make your own maps just doesn't exist in it, as well as almost every other ECU. And so I don't like it, but it's got way more freaking inputs and outputs than Elite 2500. And then if you compare like the Haltech to like an M-Tron, the cost to get into a Haltech is way less. But I got to buy an O2 controller too. Oh, that's weird. So you got to buy an O2 controller, and then you got to buy an expansion box if you want to have as many inputs and outputs as an M-Tron. So what happens is you end up getting a system that's more expensive than an M-Tron and still doesn't have as much power or features as an M-Tron. Yeah, 300 and something bucks or 390 bucks is like wholesale on it. And that expansion box fucking sucks. It sucks because I don't know what it is about the Haltech one, but you're so limited on what you can put on that box, and you can't put a lot of engine functions on it or any engine functions on it. If anything has to be synchronized with engine speed or anything like that, nope, they won't fucking run it. There's just a lot of things you can't run on the Haltech expander box that you don't have any issues with on something like an M-Tron or whatever. All right, it is flash supposedly. First fire. Plugged into the axis. Oh no. Wait, what the fuck? Oh. Yeah, I remember that. What's up with that?
It's perfect.
It looks great.
After a year of hard driving, it's still fine.
No cracks or anything. I mean, there's not any pressure or strains overall.
Well, it's fixed. It's solid. No bellow, no nothing.
Oh, sure, from the expansion and contraction. That looks good. Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
Looks really good. Open the door. Door. Please select parameters of view. Now that's something that I kind of like take a little bit of pride in, the fact that when I open O4WX, I have to select the parameters to log because I haven't done it. Because I haven't been fucking with them in a while. Stinky. I was told this thing has a catted downpipe, but it don't fucking smell like a catted downpipe. Holy shit. Phew. Of course, they've been running this in and out of the shop with the larger injectors on it without a tune, from what I heard. So it's probably got a little fuel here and there. So right now I'm selecting the parameters for my logging, and then I'm gonna connect to it and see what I got. It's not a bad O2 correction there. 3%. Boy, it fucking stinks though. Phew, fuck. Hey, I thought you said this was catted.
What?
I thought this had a cat in it.
It does.
Dude, it smells so bad.
Yeah.
You said it was cob?
Yeah.
What happened to the old engine? Or is it
Nothing.
fine? Nothing?
It was
Wow.
off the Forester that you tuned. Made 440.
Oh, this isn't from this car
No.
originally. Okay, I see. Dude, it smells terrible. Why is it burning so much oil?
It's a 2 liter and it's super smoky. It's a blue cloud back
It
there.
is a blue cloud back there. And up there. As I rev, it goes up. One doesn't quite catch the haziness. So
Nothing's leaking.
So it's an 04, 16G XTR, DW650 injectors, VA of 17 STI top mount, GM IAT relocate. What fuel pump's in it?
Don't know.
Probably stock. I didn't hear it put the key on. Freeport. It's loud.
She's gonna open source it?
No, it's on Cobb. It's on Cobb right now. Everything's good. Most stopes, top four is flaky, so the exact match before. Pigtail with pins for 20. Wait, it's pigtail, so you gotta like butt connect each one? I think I would rather just lop off the ends of all the wires and put new pins on it than have to go in and like butt connect every wire to the OBD. That seems kind of weird. I wouldn't want to do that. Matt said something. What did Matt say? We're making a return to FD next year. I've been putting a 2GZ and a 360 Modena. Need you to work your magic. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude, no problem. Do I tune Link? Oh yeah, lots of Link. Linked for a long time, many years. Many years, my friend. Yeah, we can definitely do some Link shit on it for sure. I mean, I prefer the M-Tron, but yeah, I'll do Link. Bang for the buck. I think the Link is one of the best ones. Bang for the buck. If you do something like a Fury, then see, the thing is, fuck. The challenge is always inputs and outputs. Okay, that's always the challenge. What a lot of people don't realize is the factory ECU has a ton of inputs and outputs, like a lot, more than most aftermarket systems have. And so when you go to an aftermarket ECU, usually you're downgrading in the way of inputs and outputs, and even processing power. The factory ECUs are usually very, very powerful. The problem is that the programming on them is usually not super great. A lot of companies like Cobb and you know, the open source community, and them, they rewrite portions of the code, but not the whole thing. It would really be something to see someone rewrite the entire code with something more like what you have in an M-Tron or Link. A more traditional, I mean, or even modeled, you know, a modeled fuel system like you have in the M-Tron or whatever, but then have more control over the inputs and outputs, because most of that is really just the UI based, right? A lot of it's just the software is mostly just an interface by which you end up writing certain codes, and then those get stored on the ECU. So, for example, with a Link, if I want to run a map, I can pick, like say I want to add a fuel map, and there's one available to it. I can set whatever axes I want. I'm not stuck with any axis. I can set whatever axis I want. And it's not like that in a factory ECU. It's all the axes are hard-coded. Now, that's only because the code is complex and layered. But if you were to start with a factory Hitachi ECU, know where the inputs and outputs come into, then you could technically rewrite all the code on the entire thing. That would be a significant task to uphold for sure, or to take on. But it could be done, and then you'd have an extremely powerful ECU with lots of inputs and outputs. Unfortunately, a lot of us want more. You know, we want to add flex fuel and that kind of stuff. And with the factory ECU, you're limited to what you can add as an input. So you end up trading inputs for other functions. So you end up saying, oh, okay, well, this ECU is not going to use the clutch switch, but that digital input I'm going to use for my ethanol sensor, and so you're going to put an ethanol sensor on that input. This ECU isn't going to use the blower motor switch because the factory ECU sees the blower motor switch, but most aftermarkets don't. And so what happens is you trade inputs. Okay, I'm not going to use the blower motor input. I'm going to use that for something else on my aftermarket ECU, or just not going to use it because it's not available. Right, enough inputs in the ECU, and also the logic isn't written to do anything with that input. But for the most part, the factory ECUs have more inputs and outputs than most of the aftermarket ECUs. Which It is what it is. So when you go to something like a Fury, for example, the Fury is a very good link ECU. It's a wiring ECU. It has onboard lambda, I think just one channel, and they say they want to be the best 6-cylinder ECU on the market, and that's great. Except it's lacking in inputs and outputs. And I put the Fury on my RS, which is a 4-cylinder, and I was lacking in inputs and outputs on it, and from what I wanted to do. I had a lot of stuff that I could do, but there was still not enough to do what I wanted to do. So that is currently, that system is now on an 87 Porsche, which doesn't have nearly the inputs and outputs in it that to occupy all the stuff that the Fury had. Yeah, it's got 6 cylinders now, but it doesn't have clutch switch, neutral position switch, and AC control, and all that stuff that you'd have, or cruise control, or any of that. Whereas like the M-Tron has got more inputs and outputs than the Haltech Elite 2500. It's got more than the Fury. It's got more than almost all those systems. And the easiest way to tell is just how many plugs are on it. That's the first thing, right? Look how many plugs are on the darn thing. If it's only got 2 plugs, like the Elite 2500, there's obviously not enough spots to put stuff in and out of it. Whereas the M-Tron KV has 4 plugs. Now, if you get a KV8, it only uses a few pins on the last plug, but all the other pins and all the other plugs are used. So lots of inputs, lots of outputs, lots of functions you can run. And the KV8 has 2 onboard lambda controllers, so I can do bank-to-bank fueling if I have an 8-cylinder or a 6-cylinder, or even in the 4-cylinder with twin stroll setup. With the Haltech, you just don't have it, and with the Fury, you just don't have it. With the Haltech, you got to buy a wideband controller. Oh, you want a dual channel controller? Well, that's $500 and something. So now your Haltech that was a bargain is already now at $3,000 or more. And if you don't have a plug-and-play harness for it, you got to buy a plug-and-play harness for it. That's another $600-700. And oh, you want, you know, whatever features you want, right? You got to add like a lot of money. So what it comes out to is that the M-Tron, if you have a system, a car, if you have a car that needs a lot of inputs and outputs, and you want like functions and shit, the M-Tron is hands down better than the Haltech, because it comes out to be the same fucking price and it has more features. It has cruise control, you know, and not all the factory or aftermarket ECUs have cruise control, but the M-Tron sports cruise control for almost any car, drive-by-wire, drive-by-cable, whatever, it does it. So, anyways, enough of my soapbox. So, if they're doing a 2J in the drift car, probably plenty of inputs and outputs for a drift car. But if you started getting like sequentials and, you know, ethanol control, and you needed, you know, some other stuff like, say, control your cool suit, or, you know, do any sort of other motorsport stuff with switches to activate, you know, launch control and rolling anti-lag or whatever, you're out of inputs. Like, you're out. There's nothing else you can do. So you have to get a system with enough inputs and outputs to do that. So let's see. Pigtailed or port pins or just port. Oh, gotcha. Anything crazy for my build? It'll be VE normal 93, and I'm good. Just want to clean the undershoot tune. Gotcha. I don't even know what year your car is, Paul, so I don't even know what it would go in. You know, if it's a CAN bus car, then you're going to be hurt. If it's a non-CAN bus car, like, you know, up to 07 or something, you're going to be fine. If it's STI, you got to worry about, is it going to put the correct data for the driver or DCCD in it or not? If you want to retain cruise control, then I don't know if the Haltech is going to support that or not, and you might be SOL on that. So I don't know how the cruise control. Well, see, that's drive-by cable, so it has a separate cruise control system. So you'll probably be okay, because your cruise control computer is somewhere else. If it was 04 STI, then you'd be screwed, because that cruise control is controlled by the ECU itself, not by a separate computer. But pre-drive-by-wire, the cruise control that's on the cable, that's a separate computer. And I was actually working on making a harness to convert the GC to the newer cruise control system, out of the like the bug eyes and all of that. I've been working on I have a sheet at home where I have all these pins and shit. I'm trying to match everything up, but the signals are not the same, and the way the system works is not the same. So it started to get more and more complex. And well, now I have to steal this signal to do this. It's not on this computer. I got to get it from over here. And I was getting overwhelmed with the task, and I'm like, I'm going drive-by-wire anyway, so I guess I don't need it. So I abandoned it. But I had most of the wiring done to do that conversion, to put the newer cruise control in a GC. But you know, like most of the shit, I have a stack of projects, and that's just one of them. That's just add to the stack that won't get finished. So okay, car's been sitting here now for a few minutes. My trims are what? Trims are 4%. Yep, I got 4%. That's not bad. Can't complain about that too much. It kind of tips in a little weird. Definitely gets a little lean on the tip in. Oh, that was weird. Laptop went dark and then went light. So I let the tip in to not be so bad. But unfortunately, it's a 2-liter ECU, and I can't just adjust the tip in real time. I have to go in and flash it, and that's a shame. It's where the tip in is set for stock values, and with bigger injectors, it's still running leaner. So here's a lesson for doing tip-in stuff. If you have a 2-liter ECU and you lower these thresholds too low, they will come on and cruise, and you'll get a car that occasionally goes, and you're driving and it goes, and hesitates some. So if you put them too low, and even if you feel like it's in a good spot, it still might be too low. So if you're tuning one of these cars, you got bigger injectors in it, and you've changed these thresholds to make it a little snappier on the tip-in, but you find that as you're cruising, you get these hesitations where the car just kind of tugs at you, just a little bit, just mild little tugs. You feel just kind of misfiring for a second or whatever. It's not actually misfiring. It's because it's injecting a pulse, a tip-in pulse, and cause it to run rich for a second. And that rich causes you to lose torque, and then you feel the impulse from that. So something to keep in mind. When you go with bigger injectors, sometimes it is a good idea to lower this down a little bit, but you don't want to lower it down too much because it will activate while you're cruising, and that's a problem. Overall, putting DW injectors in a car sucks ass. So, but here we are. I don't like putting ID like 1000s on these old ECUs. I don't know what it is, but these ECUs just don't seem to like it. I don't know if the drivers are just weak and the injectors pull too much current or what. I honestly have no idea what it is. I know that they don't have good injector control to begin with. They don't have the low pulse adder tables that are correct at all. They have just really weird adder tables. And they don't have a lot of stuff like that that makes the 90 injector, really shine. These don't have that. But getting the tip in correct with IDs, especially, what's weird about it is it's worse on the 1000s than on the 13s. So something about the characteristics of the 13 is better than the 1000s, and I don't know what it is. I suspect that potentially it could be in the low pulse adder tables. Like with the 1000s, you got to add a bunch. With the 13s, you got to pull some to get to work. And the factory tip-in stuff, the factory low pulse stuff, I think is adding, which is the opposite of what the 13s do. But I think for some reason it helps out in just the way they control them at low pulse widths. I don't know. That's all speculation because I don't know what it is or why. But sometimes you'll get a car with a bug-eye ECU in it, and you put 13s in it, and it's smooth and wonderful. And sometimes you spend 2 days on it, and it's just not right. And the car is the same fucking car as the other one. It's the same shit, and for some reason it just isn't right. But these ECUs have all kinds of other problems. I've had them where they start to oscillate and idle, and the air fuels oscillate, and idle controls oscillating. Nothing you do fixes it. And then I take a ground wire and I ground the exhaust to the engine, and it clears up. And I'm like, I shouldn't do that. And so I think that potentially some of these ECUs are starting to decay internally. I mean, that shit happens, right? And they're starting to decay internally. Parts starting to get higher resistance than they used to have, you know, and resistors start to go bad, caps start to go bad, you know, transistors start to go bad, something starts to go bad in them, and they just don't work like they used to. And I'll add a ground to it, and the car will run great for like 2 years, and then it'll start running worse again. And it's really weird. I wish I knew why it was. I wish my micro, miniature, whatever, you know, solid state electrical knowledge is more than it is. But yeah, I don't know what happens. But that's just something to keep in mind if you're tuning one of these cars and you just get this oscillating idle, and you're like, there's nothing on here that should cause this. MAF is good, you know, like new MAF sensor, crank cam sensors are good, flow backs are good, everything is good, out of control motors good, everything is like fresh, and yet for some reason this weird oscillating idle. Just take a wire and ground the exhaust to the manifold and see if the problem goes away. I've had probably 5 to 10 of them now where I've had to do that, and all of a sudden, boop, it idles smooth. And you're like, oh shit. And then you know, like it's just doomed. So in those cars, I haven't replaced ECUs. I probably should have just unmarried the access board or whatever I had on there, and then change the ECU out and see if it still stayed. But I don't think I did in like any of those situations, unfortunately. Probably would have been a good idea to do that. Okay, so I'm getting a little more negative turn. Now I'm at -5 at idle. It's still a smidge lean. Although the map feels a bit slow. Yeah, map feels a bit slow. So let me show you. Oops, didn't work. Try again. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. So there's mass airflow right there. It says 2.95 right now. If I rev it, 2 things I noticed. One, it kind of oscillates. It doesn't just climb. Right? You see that? It kind of oscillates. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm either getting some sort of reversion or something's not right with it. And it feels just a little slow. Like the engine feels sluggish. And you can see how much correction is being added up here when I rev it. Watch this. 20-something%. So I got a ton of correction, and the MAF isn't going up very high. That makes me think that this mass airflow sensor is worn out. And it's not worn out in a way that it doesn't run, but the reaction time on it is really slow. And it creates super boggy cars like this one right here. And then they get these big lean trends. I mean, I have larger injectors with more pulse width and tip in than it came with it. It's still running lean, but I also see, like I said, the airflow looks low. So because the MAF might be old, or if it's a new MAF, there's a wiring problem, or there's a grounding problem, or who knows what. But with these older cars, like it can show you things. Hey Lane,
Yes, sir.
is this a new mass airflow sensor or an old one?
What?
Mass airflow sensor, old or new?
Unchanged.
So it's
Whatever
old.
it was, yes.
Okay, it's slow as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll change it. We usually do it on these anyway.
Yeah, it's slow. I rev it up and watch it even oscillates. Look how lean it goes to. Watch these two numbers here. This one goes lean. It adds like 18 to 20% to try and correct air fuel. And this one is slow to rise. I think it just goes, counts up, and it does this too. It gets up and down as well. So
No, throw one on it.
at least to see if it snaps up the car. And then these.
At least it
trims are
doesn't
fun.
smoke.
Did it stop smoking finally?
No, definitely not.
Gotcha. All right. What time is it? Oh, it's time to go. Anyways, guys, so I appreciate you hanging out. I know I didn't do much. I just showed you, like, I yelled this access port for a little while. A couple tuning tips and all of that. Show off my beautiful fingernails. And that's a Paul joke. And talk about some ECUs. But I appreciate you stopping by anyways. I do want to do that series, so keep an eye out for that series when it comes out. I might start recording that on Thursday, actually. I started a video the other day and I was live in Discord as I was streaming me build a header. And while I was building the header, someone came in and was talking to me, and I forgot to tell them that I was recording the session. And so I'm not going to post that because the guy has no idea he's being recorded. And I think we started talking about other shit too that wasn't applicable to it. But I built the whole header in SolidWorks from scratch. And I started it without having all my data that I wanted to have. Or anyways, I just kind of generically building one. So I want to start from scratch again with all the correct measurements so that when I put it up there, it's accurate and you guys can see how it works. It's a pretty cool system that I got designed, or that I made it for. It's a Dorito. That's the Datsun with the 13B. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Have a good one, and I'll see you more this week. I promise. The pet pile. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool though. I mean, it's a death trap and a half for sure. It's definitely gonna kill somebody, but it's neat, and just the ideas that went into it. The execution is really bad, but Tier 1 has done a ton of stuff to it to make it way better. It's way better than it was, and it's still a death trap. So the guy needs to spend probably another $6 grand on it to fix the cage and improve the safety factor of a lot of stuff. It's just bad. So anyways, see you guys. I'm out.